Hello, this is Emmanuel from RelationshipMinibooks.com, and today is the conclusion of a three-part series I'm doing of what you need to convince your significant other, your husband, about in order to take your relationship from good to great and then from great to exceptional. I'm going to leave a link to the first two videos if you don't have it, just in case you've missed the first two parts. But this is one of the most important things that you need to convince your husband about, and a lot of people miss it. And again, this comes directly from the Bible. The Bible tells us that the Holy Spirit is there to convict or convince the world of sin because they do not believe in God. Now, since you as the wife, you are given the same name as the Holy Spirit, which is the helper, it means that if you do the same thing that the Holy Spirit is meant to do, then you will get the same result. But here's the thing. Many people don't have a good understanding of what it means to actually convince your husband of him missing the mark. See, what a lot of people do is that they say, well, my husband is missing the mark against me. He's doing something I don't like, so I'm just going to continue to tell him and tell him and tell him and tell him. Ladies, that is nagging. That is not what you are supposed to do. In fact, the Bible puts it this way. It is better for a man to be at the corner of a rooftop than to be in the same house with a nagging wife or a nagging woman. You don't want to be that way. In order to understand what this really means, you need to understand the heart behind what the Holy Spirit is doing. The Holy Spirit is trying to convince you of you missing the mark because you don't believe in God, it says. Now, if you're missing the mark, the Holy Spirit knows that that is going to lead to a lot of destruction in your life. So the heart behind it is that the Holy Spirit is trying to pull you away from the things that you're doing so that you can be saved and have the very best life. That's the work of the Holy Spirit. That is the same intention that you need to have. That means the things that you need to bring up to your husband are those things that are going to be destructive in his life and that are going to take him away from the vision that God has for his life and from the mission that he has in being the leader of the marriage relationship. Those are the things that you need to point out. Let me give you an example. So let's say that your husband has an anger problem. Well, guess what? That anger problem is probably causing a lot of work in his external relationships and is causing issues for him at work as well. Here's the thing. If you're able to convince him that it's an issue, and then you're able to convince him to take it to God, then he can solve it. Not only are you the beneficiary of him solving that issue by going to God, but also the vision that God has for his life and the mission that has for your relationship will be much better. So ladies, I'm not telling you to nag your husband. What I am telling you to do is you do have a job as well to kind of try to help move your husband to where he needs to be for his own benefit and for the benefit of your relationship. Okay? So therefore, I've mentioned about supporting your husband before. You also are supporting him when you are one that is trying to move him to be the very best that it can be. Getting rid of all the hang-ups that he has that is causing him not to be the very best and is causing issues in your relationship. But just like the Holy Spirit, remember, the Holy Spirit does not come tell you every single thing you're doing wrong. The Holy Spirit only tells you those things that are going to be really problematic and is very patient with you. You have to do the same thing. But here's the thing. If you do see something wrong, it is your job. You have to be able to convince your husband and say, hey, look, this is something I've really seen and I really think it's causing both our relationship damage, it's causing maybe our kids damage, our family damage, and it's also having an impact in your workplace. One thing at a time. Then you lovingly lead him, right, to be able to help deal with those things by submitting it to God and let God do only what he can do in him. When you do that, you'll find out that your relationship goes from good to great and to exceptional. I hope you got a lot from this video. I hope you watched the other two videos as well, because there are three things altogether that we spoke about. And if you apply these things and you're able to convince your man, your husband, of these things, it is going to be fantastic for your relationship. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed this series, and we'll see you next time.